I'm sorry to tell you, they already wrote it all over the wall. They said that they want to reimagine and redo Halo from the ground up because every sequel that they have ever touched has been absolute garbage. Right into it. We're gonna go ahead and get right into this video. We got a video with Kevin Cool X on YouTube. Make sure you guys give him some love if you enjoy the content. I haven't watched this video yet, but I've seen others on the matter. So just to give you some background, 343 Industries have closed the doors and they are no longer a company. Now that they have rebranded, they are now, what do you call it? Halo Industries. So Halo Industries wouldn't be an issue if we looked at it and all new staff was involved, but this is the same company with a rebrand and a new manager. So they basically took their diversity hire HR manager and gave her the position of power, which no one enjoyed and no one liked. So without further ado, guys, I hope you enjoy this half as much as I enjoyed making it for you. We're going to go ahead and get reacting on this, and let me know how you feel down in the chat below.
When it comes to this recent New Dawn trailer reveal, tech demo, whatever you want to call it, from 343, let me play it for you real quick, and then we'll continue to talk about it. First, we have Unyshek talking about Halo. You have Chief of Staff Melissa Boone talking about Halo. And then you have Elizabeth Van Wyck talking about Halo. So, nothing really too crazy, right? Halo, talking about Halo. What's so crazy about that? Well, it seems like a lot of people are upset about this one person in particular, and that is Melissa Boone here, who is
I'm gonna just let you take one guess. One guess. Why people are upset with that? This is the new head chief of staff for the direction of all the new Halo games. Lord help us.
I think it's mainly because of the way she looks, and that's really just because people have been actually citing like DEI, 343, I'm sorry, Halo Studios gone woke and things like that. It's kind of just one of those things where, like, I think people just see someone who looks different than them, like this right here, and they instantly start screaming.
My bad. That's an unfair take on that. And the reason why, I'm gonna show you right now. Go look up Melissa Boone on X. Well, they're gonna give me that block wall, and that was the wrong one. There she goes. So, this is her Twitter page right here, right? First things first. Melissa Boone with the unicorn. No problem having a unicorn. Means imagination, right? No. This is the problem with it. So let's go reading, shall we? Chief of Staff at Halo Studios. Pronouns: she, her. Rainbow, meaning gay. Opinions are my own. Okay? She has the Halo Waypoint link in her description. And also, here's a couple of her posts. Obviously, no wonder she's supporting Kamala Harris. There are now 1, 2, 3 black women on my team at Xbox. We all have. There are now. Okay, my bad. I fucking repeated. There are now 1, 2, 3 black women on my team at Xbox. We all have PhDs. We ran into each other in the hallway this morning, and I started singing Black Lady Hallway. Actually, over 70% of African Americans believe the decision should be up to a woman and her doctor. I mean, are the Washington Post and New York Times not mainstream enough for you? Also, diffuse is just a word, like it has multiple applications of outside of medicine. Oh my God. This is the person that's supposed to be in charge of our beloved Halo. Now, what is Halo usually? Let's go ahead and I want to show you what my personification of Halo is. Bad ass epic. Now, when I search this, first thing should be Master Chief. Not going to be that, but we put badass epic. The first thing that pops up is some fucking let's go badass epic. First thing that's going to pop up is this guy that's lit on fire with a motherfucking guitar mix in the background, guaranteed. And on top of that, it's just music. So guaranteed not to be Master Chief anymore. But badass epic is the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Master Chief and the Halo series. When you got the Flood, you got these factions that are just fucking brutal, and they have this tech that can destroy the entire freaking world, and it's up to you, the guy in the green suit, to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and you ran all out of bubblegum. So that is why Halo, to me, is the GOAT. Because it revolutionized gaming. Now, Doom, it was the Doom, the original Doom, back in, dinosaur days when the PCs used to be white and had disk slots. Or no, not disk slots, floppy disk drives. Doom was the king. You know why Doom was the king? Because they made a really fun, repetitive first-person shooter that shouldn't have been possible on PCs at the time. Now, fast forward, Halo. Halo is the first 3D Vista with amazing backdrops, amazing areas, graphics on a new level. Nobody's have ever seen anything like that in gaming ever. You had this badass character that was so genuinely cool because he was you, and everybody likes themselves sometimes. That was Halo to us. And sorry if I'm taking a few breaks, guys, because I wanted to just play Halo today, but I didn't really think I was going to get into talking about it. But there's so many videos out there. I just want to put my 2 cents on the matter, and you guys can check it out later if you want. But this is just something that I think, this is my opinion. You can feel entitled to your own, but I think with all the woke stuff that's coming out nowadays, it's just bullcrap. You can't do anything. First, they tried to cancel us if we didn't agree. Second, once they realized they couldn't cancel us because they needed our money and they were taking all the thing that they needed away from us, they decided to slow their roll a little bit. Then, after they slowed their roll a little bit, we're still being called racist and bigots and sexist and all types of stuff just because we don't agree with what the direction of Halo and different art forms are going right now. You have utter trash in media. You have black characters that shouldn't be where they are. You have white characters that shouldn't be where they are. Mexican characters where they shouldn't be where they are. It's just like, what the hell are we doing? It is so lazy. I just don't get it. And on top of that, these people like her think that they need to make everything ugly and freaking, not ugly, but unattractive enough to where people don't want to buy it. And they think that if they make everything unattractive, eventually that people would think it's attractive. And instead of trying to mentally manipulate people. Why don't you just make a good product, let them buy it, and deal with your own personality in your own time? Now, this is yet to be said for her. Now, if she, foresees a good Halo game, then yeah, I'll be like, awesome. You go, Melissa. I guess do your thing, right? But sadly, her belief system isn't going to allow her to do that, because the left has a belief system that has to infect and take over everything. They can't just create something new because they have no imagination. They have to take from everybody else and make us deal with reality 24/7, when that's not what people want to do in gaming. So that's why my take, before we hear anything further from this dude, is why I think Halo is about to go into the gutters. But let's hear what he has to say.
Like, the game's gone woke, stuff like go woke, go broke, and definitely enough of people within the community that have actually started crying about this.
Yeah.
And to the point where even Halo Studios themselves have had to respond to this, which is just ridiculous. Like, if I just go to my comment section right here on YouTube, I searched up the term DEI. Now, not everyone in this comment section who said DEI is using it, wrong. Like, they might be quoting about people using DEI, but there's a good amount of comments mentioning DEI, or even also here as well, calling the game woke. Again, not every comment here. I just typed in the word woke. How many times it came up.
That's crazy.
Channel, right? Like 40K subs, maybe get like 5, 10K views on a video. Like, that's not a whole lot. So like, to have that many people referencing woke DEI, there's enough people out there where people are talking about it. Now, normally I try to avoid talking about this kind of stuff, mainly because I just stick to the games, man, right? Like, that's what we want to talk about, but I think there's just so much of it online right now that we kind of have to talk about it. And I know a lot of people are kind of citing that Melissa Boone right here. They keep saying that she has no experience in gaming. Why is she doing there?
Now, that's something I'm not going to take, because that's just, criticizing just to criticize. It's okay to have a valid point on something. Now, the woke stuff is a to be seen thing for me, but based on context of other people in her situation, where her belief set and her mindset, this is what most likely plays out all the time. That is where I'm getting my assessment from. I'm just making an educated guess on basically what has happened in the past. Now, we haven't seen any gameplay. We haven't seen any project managing from Unreal Engine 5. We haven't seen anything like that as of yet. And to criticize her until she makes a game, we can't do that. But looking at her from looks, she doesn't look like she has what it takes to make a Halo game. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't care or know the lore enough to do this. Like, this is supposed to be a remake. I know a lot of people think this is going to be a new game in the series, but I'm sorry to tell you, they already wrote it all over the wall. They said that they want to reimagine and redo Halo from the ground up, because every sequel that they have ever touched has been absolute garbage. So the only way that you can make your sequels look good in comparison is to destroy the legacy of Halo. Now they want to remake it. There's two ways that they could do this thing. You remake it with modern graphics and bigger maps, so people can actually explore Halo CE and flush it out a little bit more, add more, lore aspects to it, explore what happens a little bit more after Reach. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You could do it the Dead Space way, or you could do it the Saints Row way. My thing is, I have a heavy assumption that they're about to do it the Saints Row way. What do you mean by that, Trill? What I mean is, the Saints Row way, if you guys aren't aware, the Saints Row reboot or remake or reimagine, whatever they want to call it, was an utter failure. The reason why it was an utter failure, not only was it repetitive, not only was it lacking innovation, not only was it lacking creativity, it was lacking soul. The whole game was what do you call it? A message of some sort to be as degenerate as possible. What's crazy is Saints Row was supposed to be a parody of GTA, and GTA was supposed to be a mirror into real life. But what happened was it became a mirror of everyday life instead of a parody of GTA, right? Which is crazy in itself because the whole game feels like a parody. I don't get it. I don't get how people think that this is entertaining, or how you can just keep on making bad game after bad game after bad game after bad game after bad game. It is no way that, like, how many games come out a year? Like 10, 15, maybe 20 games every year come out. And I'm only interested in maybe 3 every year. And that's not because I only play a certain type of game. If I show you my Steam library or my Xbox library even, I'll just show you just to show you sakes. I play a wide variety of different games. The only thing that you can say is consistent is a lot of military shooters. But even then, I got fantasy. Where's it at right here? We got fantasy right here. Role playing. We got, third persons. We got first persons. We got platformers. We got fun little bullcrap games. We got more fantasy, Star Wars, futuristic, sci-fi, Warhammer. Like, I diversify my games a little bit. Like, I am what I consider myself a gamer. Anytime I got free time or anytime I got a chance, I am gaming or learning something about gaming or doing something with gaming. This YouTube thing is a little bit new to me, but this is something that I know. This is something that I breathe. I played games since I was a kid. The first ever game I ever touched in my life was Halo CE. And that game changed my life. You know what I'm saying? I went from liking cars to liking nothing but Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So, if for better or for worse, that was my hobby for a very long time. That's what I did. That's what I enjoyed. That was my bread and butter. I don't understand how people can let this hobby go to the dump. Why are people trying to lure in a broad audience that's not into video games when they're not into video games just because it's a video game? When they think of a video game, they think of Pac-Man, and there's not much that you can or show them that's different. The only thing that they see is the gameplay loop being repetitive every time. They don't see take the appreciation to look at the story of the game and actually experience the game. So what you get is a bunch of people that like Call of Duty or like casual games. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, if they like that certain thing, if they like that type of thing, then let that company cater to that audience. Or if you want to cater to that audience, why do you make a new game that's not under that banner to cater to that audience, instead of taking the banner of an existing title that has lore, that has excitement behind it, that has a cult like following behind it, and destroy it and blatantly disrespect the fans that love it so much? Sorry I went on a little rant or a tangent there, but I just fucking feel some type of way about that. It just disgusts me that they just allow Halo to be dragged through the muds for their own personal message that they got to get out there for some reason. And everybody and everywhere is going to be telling them that message is stupid and we don't like it and it's dookie. And then the next thing you know, we're racist, we're bigots, you're intolerant, we don't like women, we don't like gays or bisexuals or blacks. It's just whatever. It's stupid.
It's strictly because of what she is rather than who she is. And that's really honestly just not true at all. I've seen plenty of comments saying she has no experience in gaming and yet is the chief of staff over at Halo Studios. And I was like, okay, well, is this even accurate? Is this actually a thing? Like, could someone just get that high of a position with no experience whatsoever? You might be surprised, but that's not true. If I click right here on her LinkedIn profile, I know a lot of people out there are originally instantly just getting triggered by seeing her rank.
Of course. Nope. everything that comes with that rainbow or that's associated with that rainbow is it involves indoctrination, it involves trashing the title or the art that comes with it. You know, I see this guy named Angry Pants Gaming and Ackman having an argument about that, but to be honest, I feel like Ackman just didn't acknowledge the issue at all, and Andy Pants Gaming went too far into the issue and making it about something that is not. The whole issue is that rainbow symbolizes DEI. That rainbow symbolizes everything that's been wrong in gaming for the last 10 years. That rainbow symbolizes everything that we hate in gaming for the last 10 years. It's not that because of the gays and the bisexuals. It's because that is an unnatural way that they're putting it into the game. You have
showed interest in this video.
You have what do you call? I hate TikTok for that sometimes, but you have Far Cry, for example, game about liberation and army stuff and blowing stuff up and having fun along the way. They needlessly throw in the trans comment mid-game for no reason. No reason whatsoever. I don't even think I finished the game because of that. It just made me turn off. It made me ick. Now, if the character is, homosexual and it's in a like crazy story, the story is really good, and the character just so happens to be homosexual and not too much light is put on the fact that he's homosexual, and it doesn't need to be celebrated because it's just the fact of the person's character, and you could just take what you want from it, that's different than having the camera pan on his pictures of him being gay and making it, obviously that he's gay. You know what I'm saying? It means nothing to the story. It means nothing to the plot. Him being gay means nothing to my perspective because I'm not gay. I can't relate to the gay perspective. All I can relate to is the human perspective. So rather than focusing on a minority of the population that isn't going to pay your bills because they are the minority of the population and you require the majority of the population to keep buying it, then cater to the majority of the population and let these people that cry about it cry. If you haven't noticed, every person that has let that happen gained a lot of money, gained a lot of popularity, gained a lot of success just from being themselves. We want games to be themselves. If you make a gay game, put it out in the market and see if people want to play it. If you make a really good shooter and the main character is gay and you don't even mention the fact that he's gay, and at the end he hugs his buddy or his partner and it's insinuated that he's gay, nobody would care. But you guys created such a climate that everything that's so tiny, so small, so minute, people are calling out now because you opened the floodgates. You called wolf too many times. It's the boy that called racist, the boy that called bigot. You guys called it too many times, and now people, for the smallest, slightest reasons, will try to call you out or find hypocrisy in what you say. And it's only you that brought that to yourself. When you could have just got what you wanted, got it, and then just kept on going with your life instead of trying to force it down everybody's throats and force feed it to be okay when it's not okay to most people. Sorry about that. I went on another rant. I just get fueled up about my baby. Halo's my baby,
I know a lot of people out there originally just getting triggered by seeing a rainbow. Dear God. But when you scroll down a little bit here, you can see what her experience has been. Since 2015, she's been a user researcher over at Microsoft, specifically saying, I'm a member of Xbox Research.
And that's a hell of a good job. Xbox is tanking. Look at all of Xbox's games, dude. Let me pull this up. You got some dope games in the mix. Let me not lie to you now. We got some dope games in the mix now. But let me show you their front page, right? This is not even me being no type of way. Looks pretty cool, right? Let's go and look at it. It's just a card game. It's a rip-off to Buckshot Roulette. Okay, thank you. I might play that. That looks cool, right? Then you got Mad Streets. What's this about? white dude looked like Ben 10 punching a dude in the face. Just a comic book game, right? Why would you waste your money making that? Nobody plays that, right? What are you making these for the phone? Then you got this right here. What is this? Front page, right? What is this even about? Just a learning game, it looks like. I don't even know what the fuck this is. Just whatever game it is. They fucked it up. You know why? Because nobody asked for that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants a game that looks all cartoony and girly. Like, you're trying to attract females to play the game, but I could get my girl in here right now and she tells you that she doesn't play video games because she doesn't have the interest in video games. Like, that's what it is. It's as simple as that. Some people don't have that optimism to want to get into a new hobby like that. And when they do, if it's something stupid, they still ain't going to want to play it. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, I just don't get this. The front page, dude, these are all either remakes, old games, or freaking games that have no interest to no one. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go down a little bit. Got games from freaking when I was a kid on this damn thing. Trending now. Let's see what came out in the last 4 years, right? Like, none of these games look like any. Frostpunk 2 looked pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I would try it out. Hell Let Loose, pretty cool. Manners of Lore, pretty cool. Don't know what that is. It's all these little indie games and little small tiny games. Ain't nothing wrong with indie studios, but hey, buddy, where's all this AAA action you promised? We got Modern Warfare 3, Siege, you know, Super Hot. You got freaking Infinite, and then Far Cry 6. Like, it's all these games on here that are old as dirt, dude. Like, where's the games that's supposed to be coming out? We have to wait the full 6 years? You telling me y'all had 0 games planned for 6 years? Nothing to release? Like, what the hell, dude? Nothing new? The only thing new that y'all got is Black Ops coming out, bro? Nothing on your mainline titles. No Gears, no Psychonauts, no Hi-Fi Rush 2, nothing. It's only freaking old ass games that I've been playing since freaking I was about 12, 13, 14, and 15. You telling me y'all stopped innovating since then, bro? And she's supposed to be the head of your researcher? Or she's a research member? Not even the head of the research team. She's a research member. Went from user research to strategic planning and project management. Failure. I've managed a team of researchers covering many of Xbox's first-party games, services, and devices. I've worked on a little bit of everything. Keenly invested in research on diversity and inclusion, design, and efforts to blank see more. Right? No, dude. Everything you have done has been to the leading downfall of Microsoft and Xbox as a whole. It has destroyed Xbox so bad that they are trying to become an online service like GameFly. That is so nuts, dude.
Team, literally part of gaming. It even mentions Halo right here as well. So yeah, I've done project research, led on several titles across Halo, Minecraft franchise, including Halo Wars 2, Minecraft Education Edition, and so she's already worked within Halo in third-party form within Microsoft, but still like in gaming since 2015. Her next position, Principal UI, UX Research Manager, also Xbox first-party games. Then in 2023, becoming the Chief of Staff over at Halo. Then what does the Chief of Staff do over there? You know, help solidify people who come into the studio to work there, connect all the teams there. So it's just kind of like a person to help communicate and make things just flow better right over there, rather than just having everyone on their own individual islands. Because let's be face it, like
no, what she is the echo phone from the producers or to the big heads of Xbox. So the big heads of Xbox talk to her directly, and then she is the big boss of all the other bosses, and then she goes ahead and tells the other bosses what to do.
Most active people, right? So you need someone out there who can help kind of connect all these teams together so we're all on the same page. That's what the Chief of Staff is there for, to help fill in the people for Halo Studios, but then also can you help with team communication? And she's been doing that for nearly 10 years now at this point. And for people to get that upset of her saying no game experience, go woke, go broke, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they just see the rainbow flag and they instantly get triggered. Bring this up as well when it comes to like the community director Sketch talked about this on Twitter.
And people get mad about the word trigger being used on them, but that's exactly what it is. I got triggered over it, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna admit where it's admissions due. I got mad about that, bro. I got literally mad about that because when I see that rainbow, I already let you know, bro. I don't see inclusion. I don't see happiness. I don't see none of that. I see exclusion. I see cancellation. I see restrictions on my speech. And then I see the entitlement of others to go ahead and indoctrinate my children into doing whatever the hell they want them to do. Nah, that's not cool to me, bro.
That's kind of I talk about just because, like I said, I usually try to avoid talking about this kind of stuff because it's just toxic behavior and just outside of the game. Which we're here to talk about games, but we're also here to talk about Halo Studios. This is what the community director said about this recent discussion on.
Like, side note, side tangent. Halo hasn't been a rated M game in forever, dude. Since I think Halo Reach. So, tell me where I'm wrong, bro. Tell me that they're not trying to push Halo on kids, first of all. Second of all, when they go broader audience, what they mean by broader audience, they mean lesbians, women's, and fucking, disabled people. And disabled people ain't even in that bracket, bro, because they already like games, and I have nothing against disabled people at all. I have nothing against none of these groups. I just don't like the fact that they're pushing it so damn hard. Like, what the hell, dude? I don't think a disabled person wants to play in a wheelchair or have a prosthetic while they're freaking blasting aliens. I think if you put a prosthetic on, it's because it looks cool and it gives your character, but not because you have that same prosthetic. Like, come on, bro.
Saying that this time last week we're all excitedly going into a Halo World Championship this weekend. For 3 days, we're just going to go in and just have everything be awesome about Halo, basically. It's a sharp contrast to the pockets of vitriol and bigotry we've seen over the few days. This app feeds on conflict in the name of engagement. Please don't give these hate mongers the attention they crave. Thank you to everyone out there keeping it positive.
No, they're showing you shame. They're showing you should have shame for what you've done to Halo. You should have shame for what you continue to do to Halo. You should have shame for what you're about to do to Halo. Like, that's what they're telling you.
Supporting each other and showing the true side of the community, which is true. Most of the people out here in the Halo community or in gaming community as a whole are not for this type of discussion, right? Like, most people out there are rather sensible. They just go like, okay, that's another person who's different than me, I guess, but like they don't go out trying to put this like hatred online. I mean, like, it's kind of insane. It's just look at the discussion when I type in like Halo DEI on YouTube. All these channels right here are just straight up just like, of course you can see just Melissa Boone just plastered all over this because she's a person of color with purple hair.
No, has nothing to do with that. She is a person that represents DEI. She is the person that represents it at this moment. The person before that got fired from Sweet Baby Inc. And now this is the person that everybody's going after. You know why? Because Halo is very important to a lot of gamers. Newsflash, people that have invested interest, that paid for the books, that has played to play the video games, that has immersed themselves in this world for years and years and years. It is crazy to tell them that everything you've done is going to die, not from natural causes, but because we hate you. No, it's stupid.
How dare you? I guess there's some algorithms that popping in here, but like, people have been just on top of her, mainly of anybody else, just crying DEI and woke, and basically just saying there's some hidden agenda that Halo Studios has, and it's just ridiculous, man. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, we don't even have anything about the game yet, and people are already upset because people.
Yeah, we're upset because it's not a new studio. It's not a new studio. It's a rebrand. It's a lazy rebrand, a sleazy rebrand that they are proposing to be a brand new studio when it's the same bullcrap.
People are just getting mad just to get mad, it seems like. And I think they just see something like this and they're like, oh, it's my chance to capitalize on some clicks right now. Because that's definitely part of this whole thing, right? Like a lot of people will jump in and make videos like this because they see an opportunity with someone that looks like this to be able to cry DEI, cry woke, go full culture war warrior kind of thing on this whole subject of things. And it's just ridiculous, honestly. It really is. But then, like, I think it's just for people just to monetize outrage. That's all it really is. It's not really meant to like help make Halo any better because we haven't seen anything about it.
I think it's a 50-50 split. Now, half of those girls on there monetize outrage. Sorry. Half of those dudes out there monetize outrage. Sorry. Not sorry. Me? Multiple people? I'll show you some more now that he said that. Multiple people on here that are talking about it are pissed off because we're being lied to our face and then told to just buy it and see what happens. Now, mark my words, if this take is a hot take one day and the game comes out, I will play this clip in the beginning of my video. Hold on, I'll clip it right now. I will play this clip in the beginning of my video before I even talk about where I was wrong. You know why? Because I will show the accountability for my actions to actually, take that and put it out there that I said that and I was wrong. I want to be wrong. I love Halo with a passion. I want to be wrong. But unfortunately, I don't think I am. We're going to leave his video. We'll watch a little bit more because I want to finish his point. And then we'll go ahead and look at a few others. Just because that point, he had a very good point. But I want to show you some other content that I've watched that I think is really radical points and that I think is really fair points. Just so you know that I'm not just coming at you with no bull crap on why I think this is DEI and this is so crazy. No, it's some good points in there. Like, I'm the guy that got cussed out on freaking YouTube for saying that I like the potential storytelling of Yusuke until I found out that they weren't going to tell it correctly. They were going to tell it like a bastardized version of it. And I didn't appreciate that. So, and I don't think the descendants of him appreciate that. Telling me that my great-great-great-great-granddad was was a stick toucher back in the, feudal Japan days. Like, come on, he's the only black dude and he just so happens to, to swing both ways. Like, I don't get that, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and continue his point and then I'll show you some more.
Halo Infinite, or next Halo game. Sorry, not Halo Infinite, but you know what I mean. I found this one profile online that's been going full just anti, I don't know what they're even against really, but they're just mad or for outrage clicks. But it's this person right here.
I'm going to say that person for me is probably Endymion and Andy Pants Gaming. Just episode 982 on why this is woke. Like Ackman said.
And they put out this tweet right here, which I thought was hilarious. It has over 770,000 views on just this one alone. She's been all about this kind of stuff, saying a man's body versus a woman's body.
Melanie Mack.
Point out how like classic Master Chief is much more like rigid and maybe like a little slimmer, where like this Master Chief is a little more curvy. But like, first of all, the CE Master Chief is not.
Now, when Melanie Mack said that, I watched that video when she put it out, so I know what he's talking about. When she said that, even I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see nothing wrong with the art style. Besides, he looks like what's the Krogan? He looks like he has a Krogan body for Mass Effect with Master Chief's helmet on. That's the only thing that I thought about it. Like, he just looks more roundish, like rounded off, and he a thick boy. He a thick boy with no butt, and that, you know, that's pretty much it. What I thought about it. His, you know, breastplate and all of that. I didn't really think much about it because body armor extends that far out on a big man. The only thing about it is he looks a little bit more chunky. He don't look more flushed out than he could be, you know, and I think they're going to fix that because they're not going to have a fat man walking around in a suit of armor. So, you know, that was just their first iteration within Unreal Engine 5, I'm thinking, and it's a first-person shooter anyway, so as long as those arms look good, I don't really care. So,
proportionately accurate to a human, right? It's a game that was made in 2001, where this is a game that's currently in development in 2024 at the moment. And even then, like I pointed out in my previous video, this model right here was just a straight up asset ripped from Halo Infinite for the CE model that was in Halo Infinite. Like, it's like, what are you trying to prove here? And also, like, they go like far outside the lines. They try to really emphasize the curviness, but then like they don't do the same thing. In fact, they kind of cut into the character as well here to kind of prove that like it's more angular. Like, dude, there's like less pixels that you can have, less polygons you can have on the screen.
yeah, all characters look boxy like that.
Sharp edge compared to the modern day gaming graphics, which can have a lot more polygons and look more rounded and more lifelike and more realistic. But it's just ridiculous. And then like I was looking at their profiles and like what
And in the events of CE, he was only like 16, 17 anyway, so, you know, it makes sense. He's not going to be full-size Master Chief in the, you know, Halo 3, because that was about when he was about 18, 19.
kind of just doing here to kind of just continue on like with the rage bait and like, I mean, do I have to say anything else right here? Just like, you know, complaining about Lara Croft not being like some ridiculous porn star 2D polygon thing.
No, listen, now this guy's just taking it and he's making the argument disingenuous. Now, Lara Croft is who she is. I think personally, the Lara Croft they put on this box art was pretty good looking. I think this was a pretty good Lara Croft. She didn't have to be super exaggerated like this right here. She got a nice C on her. She ain't super exaggerated. She has a nice butt. Like something modest, you know what I'm saying, but not too out there. I don't really care. If you made her titty super big, I guess that could be distracting in a way because it's like, ooh, boob balls. But at the same time, we're all grown playing the game, so it's not really that big of a deal. We'll just see boobies. It's like, why are you changing it in the first place? You think that we can't handle it or something? Or you're that mad about sexualization in games that you're going to just take it away? It's like stupid. It's a little stupid, you know? So that's just the way I think about it. I don't really see no problem on it or nothing about that. I just see the fact of Lara Croft not having the, you know, to some people, especially her, Lara Croft not having her original figure, you know, remade, like to look realistic is a little bit disheartening. You know, you could have made her had a D size, and D size ain't crazy looking. Look at Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. You know, that remake, you could have made her body look like that and it would have been no issue. You know what I'm saying? She's still covered up. She still has the one piece on or the tank top on with the shorts. If she gets it down, you know, it was supposed to be like a sexy shooter like Bayonetta. But they wanted to make it more of a serious, like, I don't know what the hell she does down. Like, she's an activist, I think.
Never like, it's like, oh yeah, of course, you know, going on this podcast as well, recording, that would make a lot of sense. And what's this one probably saying like, go rule, go broke, or whatever like this? Yeah, see, exactly. Like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, some people out, so it's just like, you can see that people like out here are deliberately trying to be like, I'm anti-woke, anti-DEI. And they're strictly doing it for clicks. That's literally all it is. Right?
I think that most people are anti-woke and anti-DEI, period, point blank. They just don't like it. And she has a good point. That's a fucking strong looking Laura Croft right there. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like, look at this Master Chief model right here. Like, this doesn't look like a human right here. And yet they're crying that the current Master Chief model, which is just straight up an asset ripped from Halo Infinite, is not accurate. But you didn't hear him crying about that with Halo Infinite. They even like went into Photoshop to like, look, I made him better. Like, what?
Yeah, it does look better actually.
It's like,
That's not even that bad looking. Actually, this guy's just dick. But nah, that ain't that bad looking actually. If that took a couple minutes in Photoshop, that's not bad. They could have did that. Cause he does look chunky as shit in that armor. If they can make him look like that's not bad looking. That's more realistic looking. I think that's the way that they should make him look. But we're done with this guy's video. If you like Kevin Cole X's take on it, go ahead and show him some love. We're gonna go ahead and check out Penguins. Penguin 0. You guys know who this is. It's Moist Critical.
I was an extra in the Hunger Games mock.
So this guy has the most nonchalant voice ever. But yeah, like he smokes a lot of weed. But hey, us Florida boys gotta stay together, man. Right across the bay from you. So he has a Halo video on here too. There we go. I started watching a little bit of it, so we'll check out Moist Criticals.
343, and also a horrible TV show just to put the cherry on top of the shit cake and put
Not lying.
Halo as a property into the dirt in the eyes of most gamers. But yesterday, 343 Studios had a surprisingly big announcement. I'm going to show you the video they made going over all of the stuff that's coming to Halo going forward. But one of the big things is they have rebranded as...
Now, I'm going to keep it real with you. The first time I seen the video, I didn't even think nothing of it. To be honest with you, I had zero emotions. The first time I seen it, I had zero emotions. Like, it was just like, I have zero hype for this. At this point, I'm not even a Halo. Like, I couldn't say that, but to be honest, like, I don't play Halo like that, no more. I used to play Halo every year. Like, I'm going to play Halo again tonight, but, Halo ain't what it used to be for me no more. You know what I'm saying? Just because I haven't I wrote a comment on, I think, Asmongold's channel or the Ackman's channel. I think it was one of these channels about this topic. I wrote, I haven't had one single good, fun memory in Halo since I was 11. And I'm 26. So you're telling me for 14 years, right? 14, 15 years? 15 years. There we go. 15 years. I haven't had a good Halo experience, bro. Like, that's sad. I'm getting old too, so that's sad. But since I was 11 years old, I haven't had a really good Halo experience. That is the craziest thing to me. And I still regard it one of my favorite franchises of all time. Because it's the franchise that introduced me to gaming. It's the franchise that got me into having friends online and talking to people and actually having those voice chats that's been slowly over the years. And I noticed it when I was a kid, like with the Xbox One. I was like, yo, what happened to voice chat? Nobody's on voice chat no more. Like, what the hell happened to that? And then they having press conferences about anti-bullying and cheating and all of this shit. And it's just like, you know what? I'm over it. Because it's just stupid. Like, any online game, I don't even play online games no more. I started expanding my library and my gaming to like RPGs and single player games and looter shooters and stuff like that, because Halo just got boring, bro. It got boring to me really fast. Even Infinite. Like, I played it one time. I played Infinite one time. One time. Fully through. My bad. One single time. That's bad, my guy. I've played every Halo game every year of my life on this planet since I've touched it. And you tell me that the one game that I haven't played like that is Infinite? Every time I pick Infinite back up to go play the single player, I'm immediately turned off and bored because I remember everything that happens. Nothing happens. I don't meet no people besides a couple Marines. That's generic. I don't meet no real characters. It's a couple bad guys, and that's it. In game. It was so lackluster to me. Even the dude that was in the beginning cutscene wasn't even present the entire game. No epicness to the game at all. It was just about rolling around this new Zeta Halo, trying to remember what happened because I got my ass beat too hard in the beginning, and then realized that Cortana made herself new and with pants. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Halo Studios. It's pretty obvious why they would want to distance themselves from the 343 Studios name. The name is tainted beyond repair. Most people had no trust in 343 making good games. It'd be like trusting Burger King to serve you good food. Carpal Tunnel had a better reputation than 343 Studios in the gaming industry.
Yep.
So they abandoned the name. They moved on from it. And it's more than just a name change. It's not like everything stayed exactly the same. They just changed their gamer tag. It is somewhat of a different team that delivered than the team that delivered the last few Halo games.
Yeah,
So
I know
they
that.
just put on a disguise, you know, the glasses.
You know why we know that? You know why we know that? Because they fired a shit ton of people like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, because the economy's so bad, and then they're voting for the same person that made it bad in the first place, but we're not getting there because it's not that type of channel.
Now they're calling themselves Halo Studios, but it's still the exact 343 Studios team. They did like fire some higher ups that made bad decisions along the way, but a large part of the team is still the same. Now, I think it's a good decision because, again, the name 343 Studios commanded about as much respect as Blockbuster's name did on its deathbed. It became.
Yeah, right?
So let's go ahead and show you some other big changes coming because it's more than just the name.
We knew we had to make a change in order to take us into the future.
When I first heard about Halo moving on Unreal Engine, my first thought was this is going to be a really hard secret to keep.
I think fans are going to be excited about the future of Halo because of the possibilities that are afforded us by using Unreal.
That's actually a big deal.
No way! They changed their gamer tag in their Xbox? They got a slightly better Xbox? Oh my god! From a Series X to a Series S, or a Series S to a Series X. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. It's such good news. Oh my god, it's such good news.
One of the big problems with Halo Infinite is that they had $500 million shoveled into a fucking dumpster fire where they were developing their own engine for it. So they had this engine that they were developing, the Slipspace engine, for so long. It was a never-ending struggle for them to try and get this fucking thing in a state that they were satisfied with. So it always felt like their attention was divided between making Halo Infinite and making this engine. And it led to both being lackluster. So them just scrapping the whole we're using our engine, I think is the right move. Probably much to the chagrin of Microsoft, considering how much...
It wasn't about their engine. It's because Microsoft had higher ups that didn't want to do the DEI thing, got fired for it. And because they got fired for it, they were the only people that knew how to run the program in the first place the correct way. So they left, they got fired, made new studios, whatever you have. Now they got a skeleton crew of people that know half of what the fuck is going on. And now they can't fix the code because they don't have any of the original code creators to come and help them fix it. Now they have to hire people that worked on other games to try to make this a little bit more simple. But they can't figure out around their head how to make a good Halo game because they're trying to make it everything but.
Money money they threw into the fucking pits of hell trying to develop Slipspace.
And I'm not going to discredit him, because that is a good point. You having to take your team, split them in half, and making engines and stuff like that and games at the same time. But at the same token, you're just using a different set of talent to make the Slipspace engine, and you're using another set of talent to work in Slipspace engine. So at the same time, you're not really doing anything different. You're just diverting resources. That's the only thing different. Also, when you get those new players or those new developers back in, all that means is that the game might come out good, as in not broken, but it's not going to come out good as in good story.
Only for it to have one game on it and be retired, but you gotta know when to hang up the jersey. And Slipspace engine, it's getting an early grave. It did not have a good...
You telling me the Halo Infinite writers? Because for a game that was marketed to be the last Halo you're going to have to buy in 10 years, right? Because they're going to do it like Destiny, give you multiplayer and single player expansions through the years for more story. And then get told that's not happening no more. Sorry. It automatically made the story shit, because the story answered no questions. The story answered nothing from the previous games. It created a bunch of plot holes and a bunch of mess that never got answered. And the ending makes no sense now because it's not canonical to anything. Everything is retconned. Everything that we played for the last 10 years plus has been retconned. And also, we don't know nothing about what's going on now. Awesome. Great. Yeah, we can't make a better sequel, or we can't make a better sequel or a good sequel to even start. So we're going to just go ahead and remake the franchise from the ground up and, give you new Halo. Because this Halo ain't made for the old Halo fans. This Halo is made for potential new fans.
Halo Studios doesn't have to worry about tweaking their quirky Slipspace engine and all of that and all the expensive tinkering that comes with it. They can instead just focus on using an already established development tool, Unreal Engine, and focus entirely on making a good Halo game, which I think is a very positive thing. I really do think them trying to make Slipspace engine the next big engine for Halo was a big misstep, because it took away from just making a good Halo game in the first place. I had a lot of fun with Halo Infinite when it first dropped. Like, it did feel somewhat fresh, but there was no meat on the bones. There was no content. It was in a state of starvation and drought.
Exactly what I thought.
That I and most other players left the game pretty quickly, like within a month for most people, because there wasn't a whole lot to do.
Exactly.
Max rank in multiplayer in like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Done. And the campaign wasn't that long. The campaign was fine, but compared to the Bungie era Halos, it was very weak. But compared to 343 era Halos, it was a better campaign, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
it made no sense.
It's just disappointing. There was potential there that was never realized, and I do think the engine played a large role in it because of this constant struggle with it. So going to Unreal, I think, is the right call. It's going to look better, it's going to play better, and they can focus entirely on making the game better.
Before, we really had to split our focus in thinking about building.
I really hope this game comes out really good.
Kind of a tech company.
Like, I'm putting faith into the new studio just because I have no choice. I'm not happy about who's leading the studio or who's conveying information or whatever the hell. But I gotta tell you, I'm a little disheartened, bro. I really hope that they do something good for Halo, because Halo needs it. I don't want to see my favorite creation of all time be destroyed and forgotten. I don't want to think about Halo as an afterthought of what I used to love back when I was in my 10s and 20s. I don't want to forget it. I want to play it and explain it to my kids one day, how this is the greatest game of all time, and have it be their first game as well. you know, I want to pass that torch on to them. And it's just so crazy to me that they're just willing to be like, okay, we'll let it die.
And a studio at the same time. Since we've made the change to shift to UE, we can bring Halo forward in ways that people have never seen before while still being true to what Halo is.
That's a pretty honest summation of it. Being divided as a game company and a tech company makes it very difficult to succeed in either vertical. So what we ended up getting was
Too, because she just admitted it through her language, using past tense characteristics on the company's identity instead of the company's identity in a future tense or present tense.
half-baked in both the engine and the game. Now, you take the engine out of the equation, you can put all those resources into the game, which is where they should be. That's where they should go. That's what people want, is a good game.
Prepare ourselves for the next steps of making Halo games.
The original Halo franchise was a graphics showcase. It was best in class. That's what Halo was when it first was released, and that's what Halo needs to be again.
I do disagree with that sentiment. He's absolutely correct that when Halo released, it was the powerhouse of visuals. It was the gold standard of, holy shit, this is blowing my mind. I remember when I first played Halo when I was a kid, I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I thought Super Mario 64 looked fucking lifelike. Can you imagine my soil Combat Evolved? He is 100% on the money that the graphics were always top-notch.
He's not lying.
But I do disagree that it needs to be that again in order for it to be successful. Halo Infinite didn't flounder because the visuals weren't best in class. It was just a content-empty game. And what it did have was serviceable, but not extraordinary. Whereas in the Bungie era, everything Halo had was extraordinary.
Yes.
It literally laid the groundwork for every first-person shooter game that followed.
Nobody could... It was two things that everything tried to kill back in the day. Every game that came out was trying to kill these two games. Halo and Call of Duty. It was all about Halo killers and Call of Duty killers. Every sci-fi game was related to Halo. Every first-person shooter was related to Call of Duty. That is the GOATs in the industry. They innovated at a time where they were just innovating and it was good. And then they stopped innovating as far as Call of Duty. And then 343 from the jump didn't know where to take this. I think they got hired on to Microsoft. Was like, we want to make our own game in like this cyberpunk-ish type futuristic styles future. And probably promoted a new game. Xbox was like, yeah, we're going to take this demo and you guys are going to make Halo. Because Bungie is no longer with us. And they were like, oh, okay. So now they got to work with Halo. And don't know where to take it. Don't know what to do. Fired everybody but the music artists. And called it a day. It's just, what the hell, dude?
Made like the default control scheme for how shooters are played. It was a pioneer in multiplayer gaming with unique concepts, a unique world, a great story. Like, it just had the nuts. And being a visually beautiful game with top-notch graphics was just a bonus. I think even if Halo looked worse, it still would have been just as successful because of how great everything in it was. So he is right that they were some of the most graphically impressive games for their time, but I don't think that's like a necessity to success for Halo going forward. It would be nice for sure, but I wouldn't necessarily put all my eggs in this basket of it needs to look mine.
Like, Halo didn't take itself too serious. The story was like a sandbox story where it was very loose and kind of bland, but the vistas, what was going on in the background, the overall share of combat, the environmental storytelling was off the charts. It was so beautiful. The gameplay was dynamic. You could do whatever you wanted to increase your playability over and over and over again. No time that you play Halo would be the same as the first time. It's always different. It's crazy.
Boggling. I'm not fucking lactating from the visual spectacle that is Halo 7, then we have failed. I just don't agree with that sentiment, and that's kind of the vibe I got with the statement, like the direction.
Yeah, but that's how I feel about it too, because I feel like it has to be that way a little bit. You know why? Because I used to salivate and lactate over the fucking other Halos.
On the visuals, but I do hope they put a lot more effort into it, because yeah, it would be great to see Halo have a return to form in a graphical sense too. But I think the focus should be on making the games really good, like the gameplay being really good.
So once Project Foundry had been approved, we took the entire creative team and we ideated on 3 locations, something old, something new, and something really alien.
We had the Pacific Northwest, traditional Halo biome.
The Cold Lands, which was the second biome that we took on, it was more of a technical
I like
showcase
that.
where we could play with shaders, we could play with deformable
Like the engine, don't get me wrong, the engine got me excited now because the graphics look amazing. The game is beautiful. It's a good eye looker. But I want the story to be good.
terrains. Unreal affords us more opportunity than we've ever had in the past.
And then our third biome was the Blightlands, which is any land that's been completely taken over by the Flood.
The biomes do look very nice. I think they look a lot better than they did in Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
And I can't help but giggle at the statement, Unreal Engine affords us more possibilities than we've ever had. That just showcases what a failure the Slip Space engine was. $500 million and nothing to show for it, just openly stating that you have more potential and more possibilities using one of the most popular and most used engines. Unreal Engine is just that good, and Slip Space Engine was just that wonky. They didn't have as much wiggle room with it, and the tech there just wasn't good enough. They are better off with Unreal Engine, and I do think that this is the right way forward for Halo. It really is. I am more optimistic with them abandoning the Slip Space engine.
What's impressed me about watching the Halo team work in Unreal is how beautiful everything looks, how incredible the environments look.
Creating an asset, taking this design, now we can really dig into material foundations. What is it actually made of? How is it physically accurate to the world? Now we get to take all the wonderful legacy assets that we have, bring them to life, and bring them to today's standards.
Halo Infinite was the last remnants of how we made Halo games in the past. That was our recipe. And what we are doing right now, we're changing that recipe.
I think overall this is all extremely positive news going forward for the franchise. Halo Infinite being the last vestiges of the past and just leaving it there, and going forward in a new direction, hopefully a more exciting direction. They mentioned they have multiple Halo projects in the pipeline. I think that's probably a good thing. Them to be working on multiple things and expanding the Halo universe. They have a huge team, and they're looking to expand the team according to this. So them growing the team, growing more projects, and no longer having to worry about working with the Slip Space engine and tweaking it and customizing it, this and that. They can just work on Unreal and focus on all of these games and projects. Man, I think that's pretty fucking good. So I was surprised at how positive this announcement was, but I want to be clear, I'm still a bit skeptical on the future of Halo, mainly because it largely is still a lot of the same team. A lot of the leadership is what they got rid of, and I think that's extremely important, but it still remains to be seen if the rest of the team can deliver a high-quality Halo experience, because it still hasn't been shown that they can. They have the potential to. Halo Infinite had a lot of potential that didn't get fully realized and then left in a state of disarray for quite a while. I imagine during that time, though, they were working on this transition to Unreal Engine, because this isn't something you can just do overnight. So maybe that is a lot of the reason why Halo Infinite was so stale for so long and just kind of left to fester and collect cobwebs. But I just wanted to put it out there that while I am significantly more optimistic for Halo going forward, I still do have my worries about it, and I hope I am proven wrong that this team can deliver great games on par with the originals, or even better, perhaps. But we'll see. I do hope that is the case, though. Either way, this is definitely good news for the Halo community, and yeah, that's about it. So, yeah.
Alright, guys. We're gonna go ahead and, do our thing on the game now. Freaking overall, I just hope to gosh that Halo just gets their crap together. But on the other hand now, it is time for the new franchise that I love to summon itself before us. And that franchise is Warhammer. I'm gonna check the Discord.